Buying property in Dubai isn't risky, but misunderstanding the process is. One wrong step early on can cost you money, time, or the unit itself. Now in this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step process to successfully buy an off-plan property over here. In this video, we're going to cover each stage of the process, how long everything takes, any fees and hidden costs, and the common risks, mistakes, and hidden traps that can catch people out. So that by the end of this video, you're going to have full transparency on the purchase process over here. Before we start, if you're considering relocating to the UAE or you're exploring your investment options, you can use the link in the description to speak with one of our certified professionals for personalized guidance based on your specific circumstances. We support clients from visas, business setups, relocation planning, and property purchases in the UAE. So let's get into the video. Now, step 1, booking your unit and the EOI process. So you have been over options with your agent, weighing up different projects, and you finally come to a decision on which project you want to go ahead with. So what's next? Now, depending on what phase of the sales process that project is in, the booking process can vary. For unreleased projects and new launches, the typical process is through an EOI or expression of interest. This is a refundable deposit which is paid to the developer as a token to express your interest in securing a unit. The EOI amount is typically around 50,000 dirhams or £10,000, and it's fully refundable in the case that you either don't get a unit or you don't like the unit that you've been offered. In the case that you don't end up taking a unit, you can get a refund from the developer. It can typically take up to 30 days, so just bear that in mind. Now, a lot of developers use this EOI process, especially when they know they have a high demand project that has hundreds of investors wanting to secure a unit inside. Investors who submit EOIs early enter the queue before the launch and typically get priority access on allocation day, which allows them to secure the better, more premium units. In some cases, putting down a larger EOI amount may help you to move further up in the queue as well. Projects that have already launched may have inventory left over. In this case, an EOI is not necessary, as you can choose a unit from the remaining availability. Developers will still ask for a booking fee to reserve this unit, which will likely be around 25 to 50,000 dirhams, and this is typically non-refundable. Step 2, selecting your unit. Now, developers can be collecting EOIs for several weeks before clients actually get the chance to secure their unit. When the allocation day comes around, the process can vary between developers. Most developers will release a long list of the available units, and you will choose from the list of units to book yours. Some developers will issue you a set appointment time to go into the office and choose a unit based on your place within the queue. A lot of the time, the EOIs will be based on a first come, first served basis. The sooner you place your EOI, the earlier your appointment time, the more choice of units you will have. And then there are a few select developers that will run off a lottery basis and randomly allocate units regardless of where you're placed within the queue. A lot of the time, developers will face cancellation units coming back from clients who can no longer proceed with the unit. In this case, they will either release them to general availability or they will go back to that EOI queue and offer these units to those that are still interested within that project. Step 3. Finalizing the deal and negotiating your terms. Now, at this point, this is when you can negotiate specific terms. This could include any minor changes to the payment plans or any requests for discounts. In a lot of cases, if you're willing to place a higher down payment or opt for a non-post handover payment plan, then developers will likely honor a discount. This amount can vary, but you'd be looking around 3 to 5%, depending on the terms that you are offering to them. Some developers may not be willing to negotiate on the price, but they may offer other incentives as well, including a DLD waiver, which we will cover later on in this video. Now, once you've selected your unit and finalized your terms, you will receive a reservation agreement. This is going to mention your personal details, as well as your unit details and specifications, and you'll see the breakdown of the particular payment plan that you have either negotiated on or the set payment plan that the developer is offering to you. The reservation agreement will also include terms and conditions regarding the payments to the developers and their policies relating to any delays or defaults in payments. Now, once this document is signed and returned to the developer, the unit is officially booked under you. At this point, your EOI booking token is no longer refundable. The amount that you have already paid will be deducted from your first installment. Step 4, down payment and DLD fees. So after the unit is booked, the developer gives you a set time frame in which the down payment needs to be completed in. This is all laid out in the payment plan, which of course you can see before you actually book the unit. Now, in most cases, the down payment amount is around 20% of the property value. All of the installments towards the property value will go to the developer's escrow account. I'm going to do a full video breaking down the escrow and all regulations in the Dubai property market. However, in short, the escrow account is a government regulated account in which the developer can only access the funds once certain milestones of the construction have been complete. Now, with this in place, this ensures that your money is safe, and if the project for any reason isn't delivered or is delayed, the money in the escrow is protected and refundable back to you. At the same time that the down payment is due, you'll be required to pay the DLD fee. This is a 4% payment made to the Dubai Land Department, who are the regulatory body in Dubai. Now, every single property purchase in Dubai, whether it's off-plan or ready, requires this 4% fee. You pay this to the developer's corporate account, and then they pay it to the Dubai Land Department on your behalf. Some other small fees may include the admin fees, which can be around 5,000 dirhams, and the OQD fees, which can be around 1,000 dirhams. In terms of the time frame for this initial 24%, this can vary per developer, but you're typically required to complete the down payment and the DLD fee within 7 to 30 days from booking. But again, this varies per project and will be confirmed to you before you book the unit. For off-plan purchases, you don't need to pay any fees to the broker that you're using, as this is paid from the developer's side. Step 5. SBA generation and signing. After the down payment and DLD fee has been paid, the developer will issue you the SBA. The SBA is the sale and purchase agreement, and this is a legal document that binds you and the developer. This is usually sent to you within a week of you completing that initial 24%. However, there can be delays, especially when it comes to new projects. The SBA is typically around 50 to 80 pages, and this document covers the following: unit specifications, materials and finishes that are used, payment penalties, handover rules, defects and snaggings, service charges, and many more. Now, the SBA covers both you and the developer. If anything were to happen, then we would revert back to the SBA and the clauses that are contained inside. Everything mentioned throughout the SBA will be in line with the regulations and the laws in Dubai as per the DLD. Nowadays, a lot of developers will send this document electronically for ease, and it can be signed digitally by you. If there are multiple purchases going into one unit, then all of the documents will be required to be signed by each individual purchaser. Now, before signing the SBA or any legal documents, we can sit down together and go through the clauses just to make sure that everything is clear and transparent and in line with the regulations as per DLD. Step 6. OQD registration. Now, the OQD is essentially a pre-title deed which is used during construction and is issued by the DLD. The developer legally has 60 days from the date of signing your SBA to register your unit to the DLD and to request the OQD. People require the OQD if they plan to resell their property before completion, or they qualify and plan to apply for the global visa program, which we explained in our previous video. Step 7. Follow the payment plan. At this point, all of the documentation for the time being is complete, and it's down to the client to complete the installments for the property as broken down on their SBA. These payment plans and timeframes can vary developer to developer. The most common ones we are seeing in the market is a 50-50 or a 60-40. This means 50% or 60% is paid during construction, and the rest is due on handover or can even be post-handover. Some developers will use time-based installments, for example, 10% due after 6 months of booking, but other developers may use construction-based timelines, like 10% after 30% construction complete. Some payment plans might even be a mix of both. In any case, you will be able to see the exact payment plan breakdown for a project before proceeding with the booking so that you can work out your cash flow for the future. In terms of payment methods, you can use a few different types. Most common one that we see is bank transfer or wire transfer. This can be completed by local or international banks, and it's the most reliable payment method. Just make sure that when you do the transfer, you're using all the correct details, including the IBAN number, and make sure you're actually transferring the funds to the correct account, whether it's the developer's corporate account or the escrow. Post-dated checks can also be used if you have a local account in the UAE. Date the check with the installment date, and then the developer can cash this in. For cash, most developers will not accept for the installments. A lot of them will just accept a small amount just towards the booking fee. Now, it's very important to note that if you miss any payments or you are late, you may face a penalty from the developer. This penalty can vary, but a lot of the time it will likely be 1% of that installment due. So if the installment was, let's say, 100,000 dirhams, you would have to pay a penalty of 1,000 dirhams on this installment. But again, this can depend. All of the penalties will be found in your SBA. Step 8, selling before completion. You might have a short-term investment plan where you want to resell your property before completion. Each developer has a milestone you must hit in the payment plan in order for you to be able to sell. This can range from around 30 to 50%. Once this milestone has been reached, you can apply for an NOC, a no objection certificate, from the developer to resell your unit. This can cost anywhere from 3 to 5,000 dirhams. Now, once you have this NOC, you can then list your property on the various property portals, and then you can transfer the unit to a new purchaser. Step 9. Snagging and handover. Before the property hands over, you will receive an appointment for your snagging inspection. At this appointment, you will visit your property and inspect for any defects that you can see. You can flag anything that needs to be corrected, and then the developer has 45 days to go in and complete this snagging work. Upon completion, the payment plan will either end here, or you may have a post-handover payment plan option. Now, if there is a bullet payment at the end, you can either pay this the same way you've been doing during the installments, or you can get a mortgage for this payment. If it's post-handover, then you can just keep paying off the installments like normal, but in this case, you will have the keys. You can either move in, or you can rent the unit out, whilst you're still paying that payment plan off to the developer. Once 100% of the property value has been complete, you will receive the full title deed. At this point, the property is yours, you will have the keys, and then you can either move in or you can rent the property out, either long-term or short-term. I'm going to do a video where we separate the differences between long-term and short-term and which ones is going to yield the highest returns. So I hope this video was a clear breakdown of the step-by-step process for purchasing a property in Dubai. If you are working with a reputable agent, then they'll be there to guide you every step of the way anyway, but it's very important to be aware of each step before getting yourself tied in. If you're looking to start your property investment journey in the UAE, then you can click the link in the description for a free consultation with a member of my team to go over your specific requirements and choose a project that will suit you best. And remember, if you're planning to move to the UAE and you want clear, honest advice on visas, relocation, business setup, and property, make sure you subscribe to this channel to not miss out.